4-pound chicken, green onions, celery, onions, bell pepper, garlic. We got the Polish sausage and 3-pepper sausage. All pork and beef, but I like the heat from the 3 peppers. It adds a good flavor to the jambalaya. We got rice, black pepper, cayenne pepper, and Cajun blast. Big onions, but since I'm adding celery, I'll cut it back to about three onions. They're the big onions. Making sure you get rid of all of the pit, this white that's on the inside of them. It tends to make it, I think it makes things kind of bitter. Garlic powder, I like the garlic powder, and it calls for 1 teaspoon. Three teaspoons of salt. And I kind of watch it on the salt because I've got 2 pounds of sausage instead of 1, so. I'm going to start off with 1.5. Calls for 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. I like fresh black pepper. I'll put a dash of red pepper, but I don't put that much cayenne pepper in here. Just put a little bit because the Cajun blast has cayenne pepper and 3-pepper sausage is pretty spicy, so just a little bit of it. And I always go a little long on the sage because I like sage. So I'll go a little more than 1 tablespoon. That's probably a tablespoon. And again, this recipe calls for 1 pound of sausage. Smoked sausage, and I like a lot of sausage in mine, so I double how much sausage I put. And everybody typically likes it like that too. And I'm able to put this spicy 3-pepper, hatch, serrano, and jalapeno. And I always like using either Polish or kielbasa or any kind of just smoked sausage. Never ever do I put turkey in it. Never put turkey sauce. Now cutting up the 3-pepper. So there you have it, 2 pounds of sliced up sausage ready to go. So next, like I said, I like to have everything ready to go before I start cooking. So the next step is to chop up my chicken. So next is to start cutting my chicken. So now I'll take off a good bit of the skin and fat off of these chickens. I keep the backs as much as I can, just to add flavor. But I like this big wooden chopping board. Got it for Christmas present from my son Jeffrey. I'm going to just, what I like to do is I like to season this way I don't have to add any more seasoning later on. Hardly at all. I add a little bit, but just to taste. But here I like to season my chickens up really well. So there's that, and then I will mix that all together prior to me starting to cook. This is my favorite pan. Favorite to cook the jambalaya in. It's a Calphalon 14-inch. It's kind of like a small paella pot dish with a glass cover on top for it also for making it very good for cooking the jambalaya. But it's got a lot of surface area, which makes it very nice for browning everything and for letting the rice cook nice and evenly. So I'll put the sausage in first. And I will brown this really well. Saute the sausage. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and just put the chickens in with this. Sometimes it's hard, especially right now during this crisis, to be able to get small chickens. So this happens to be, she's only 4 pounds, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it in here and spread it around and cook it with the sausage. So the key is you just want to get everything nice and brown all over. And once that happens, I'm going to add the onions and celery and bell pepper into here. And I want this to get nice and brown. I mean, not crispy brown, but just brown on all the edges. And you can start to see how some of the sausage gets nice and crispy down there at the bottom. I like those. They kind of just pop up throughout when you're eating it, and it's nice to get one down. You got some nice browning going on here. And now I'm going to add the veggies. Just onions, celery, and bell pepper. And it looks like it's going to be too much, but it's not. So I got that all mixed around. I'll go ahead and add the lid to that. Put that on just kind of a simmer. And I'm going to let those onions get, they're going to cook down a little bit. Alright, this looks pretty good. The onions are cooked, onions and the veggies are cooked down pretty good. So the next part is somewhat tricky, I want to say, because this is when you need to add water to this, and you let it add the water, cover it, simmer it until the chicken's tender. Well, it's already got a lot of water that's come out of the chicken and the vegetables, and if you put too much water right now, when you add the rice to cook the rice down, it takes too long to cook the water out, and it makes the rice mushy. So you can't put too much water. So it normally, I put between 2 and 3 cups of water right now. I'm gonna start off with 2 cups and see what it looks like. So it's not quite covering the chicken all the way, so I'm going to add probably 1 more cup and see what that looks like. So that's 3 cups of water. And I think that's going to be fine once this cooks down. So it's been almost 15 minutes now. I'm just going to check this for tenderness. Okay, this has been going for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to test the chicken one more time, but I think it's tender. Back in this larger bowl here to let it cool before I debone it. That's good. Let's cover that. Then I'm going to let this cool, and then I'm going to debone it. But while I'm letting this cool a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and get the rice ready. So now I've washed the rice, and it doesn't run perfectly clear, but like I said, it takes some of the starch off and helps I think it helps the grains of rice stay a little bit separated when it's all cooked and everything, so it doesn't get sticky as much. So now I'm deboning the chicken here, and you can see it's just taking it off in a little bit, about bite-sized pieces. I like using the whole chicken just because I like all different pieces of the chicken, the white meat, dark meat, the back, everything, and the wings and the different flavors, and all those the bones and everything that you're cooking this down, and helps add flavor. But if you wanted to, you can just use breasts and thighs, or all thighs and all breasts, however you like, whatever kind of pieces of meat you like, and use that instead of having to deal with chopping up the whole chicken. But I like chopping the whole chicken. So the rice all done. I think that's the right amount of water in there. So now I'm going to add the rice. Add the green onions, the sage, and the salt, black pepper, and a little bit of cayenne pepper. Now I'm going to add the chicken. And it never looks like the rice is going to be just, and the chicken and the sauce can be mixed in with that, but it does. The rice kind of just spreads out throughout this pot, and it's going to be evenly dispersed. I just like to make sure the chicken is. And I don't like to stir the rice too much, so I just want to get it going right now while we're just starting. Once it gets going, I'm not going to stir it hardly at all. So as you can see, it's come to a nice boil here. I'm going to lower it down just like, stay at a boil, but just kind of a slow boil there. And, as much water as I can out of this. And I'm not messing around with it, not stirring around a whole bunch. I'm going to just loosen it up a little bit on the bottom and kind of make sure that the water is getting evaporated out of there pretty good. But I'm not going to stir it all up and mix it up. So now I'm just going to taste it just a little bit, see how much salt it's got. Very good. Because the water's going to be a little bit salty right now, but it's going to blend in with that rice as it cooks down. So it had a nice flavor to it already. Alright, so let's take a look and see. I'm going to turn the fire down a little bit. Kind of starting to get a little bit packed here. That's good. I just want to check. Still not sticking. It's got a little bit of water left in it, but it's almost down to where I've got enough water out of it. Now the next step is quite a bit different than the recipe. The recipe calls for just getting the water out, tossing it a little bit around, just make sure it's not sticking, and put the lid on it and turn the fire way down and let it cook like you would rice for about 25-30 minutes and steaming it. Well, I find that it works like that, but it doesn't make it the way I like it. So what I do, once I cook the water down, I'll put the lid on it, then I put mine in the oven at about 350 degrees and I bake it. And it caramelizes all the bottom of this pot, and it makes it so good. Oven's at 350, so she's going in. Now I don't pay too much attention to the time on this. I'm mainly looking to see Kind of got a little foggy there, but I want to make sure that the water's cooking off of it, and she's not burning or anything, which is not. It's doing really good right now. The edges and the bottom are going to be nice and caramelized, and the rice will be nice and fluffy. I'm going to go a little bit longer, and I will check it. I will open it up and check it. So I'm going to check it again. You can see it's not bubbling as much now. I'm gonna let it go a couple more minutes. I can see it kind of browning a little bit on the edge. Opened it up and looked at it and checked the bottom, make sure it's not sticking too much or burning, which it's not. It's doing very good. So I'm gonna put it back in here, cover it back up. So now I'm going to check it really good to see what it's looking like. See, it's starting to get a little bit of brownness on the sides there, which is good. So I'm going to put it back in there. I just checked it. She appears to be done. Now, putting it back in with the lid off, and I'm going to broil it for a little while. Just a little trick to make it nice and brown, crispy on the top. And she looks beautiful. Looks really good. Wow, that's perfect. So there she is. She's done. See what I'm talking about? The caramelization on the sides here. Look at that. Oh. Nice brown. On the sides is really, really good. You can see the sausage, how it's really crisped up. But she's done now. It's gonna cool off. Delicious. So now, screw it up a little while. I just want to see what it looks like underneath. Oh, perfect. Perfect, nice, fluffy, nice caramelization underneath.
Yes, I love you, I do, I love you, that's true, Juanita. Juanita, I'm hoping you love me too. Oh, life off this part, feeling coming. I said tonight, I'm gonna go see my mother.